Have you ever learned a new English word, felt so proud of yourself, and then, just one day later, tried to use it and found that it had completely vanished from your mind? You remember that you learned something. You remember the good feeling of understanding it, but the word itself is simply gone, like a name on the tip of your tongue that refuses to come back no matter how hard you reach for it. Maybe you have notebooks full of beautiful vocabulary lists, pages and pages of words you copied down so carefully. And yet, when the moment comes to actually speak, your mind goes quiet and empty. If this happens to you, I want you to hear me very clearly and very kindly. There is nothing wrong with you, and you are not a bad learner, and you are certainly not too old or too slow. The truth is that almost every English learner in the whole world struggles with exactly this same problem. And the reason is beautifully simple. Nobody ever taught you how your memory actually works. You have been trying to fill a bucket that has a small hole in the bottom. And no matter how much water you pour in, no matter how many hours you study, it keeps quietly draining away while you sleep. So today, together, calmly and without any stress, we are going to find that hole and close it for good. My name is John, and for more than 40 years I have helped people learn English and grow into the best version of themselves. And in this gentle lesson, I'm going to share 5 simple, science-backed memory tricks that will help you remember English words not just for tomorrow, but for the rest of your life. Before we begin, welcome to English Listening Lab, the calm little corner of the internet where we slow everything down so that your brain finally has the time and the peace it needs to truly absorb the language. There is no rush here, no pressure, and no test at the end. Only you, my voice, and the quiet joy of learning something well. If you enjoy this lesson, please take one small moment to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because every single week I share a new, slow, and clear English lesson designed to help you listen better, speak with more confidence, and grow one word at a time. Your subscription is completely free, but it means the world to me, and it quietly tells me that these lessons are truly helping real people like you all around the world. Now, take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, let your shoulders drop, and relax, because the first thing you must understand is why you forget in the very first place. Long ago, a German scientist named Hermann Ebbinghaus studied his own memory for years and discovered something he called the forgetting curve. He found that after we learn something new, we begin to forget it very, very quickly, sometimes losing more than half of what we learned within a single day, and even more as the week goes on, unless we do one important thing. That curve is steep and fast, like a hill dropping away beneath your feet. And it is the reason your careful vocabulary lists seem to melt away. But here is the wonderful news that changes everything. Every single time you review a word at the right moment, that curve becomes flatter and gentler, and the forgetting slows down more and more. So the goal is not to fight your memory, but to work together with it. And that one important thing Ebbinghaus discovered is the quiet secret hiding behind every single trick I am about to teach you. The first and most powerful trick is called spaced repetition, and it is the gentle art of reviewing a word at the perfect moment, just before you are about to forget it. Here is how it works in the very simplest way. When you learn a new word today, you do not need to study it 100 times right now in one big exhausting session, because that kind of cramming feels productive, but fades almost as fast as it forms. Instead, you review the word a little bit later today, then again tomorrow, then a few days after that, then a week later, and then perhaps a month later. Notice how the spaces between each review grow longer and longer, and that growing space is exactly where the magic lives. Each time you successfully remember the word after a little gap, your brain quietly says to itself, "Well, this keeps coming back. This must be important. I had better hold on to it." And so it pushes the word deeper into your long-term memory, where it can rest safely. Every review makes the memory a little stronger and the forgetting a little slower. Like walking the same path through a thick forest again and again until the grass is worn down and it becomes a clear, easy road you could follow in the dark. You don't need anything fancy to do this. You can use simple paper flashcards kept in a little box, moving a word further back each time you get it right. Or you can use one of the many free apps on your phone that are built to schedule these reviews for you automatically. The magic, my friend, is not in studying harder or longer. The magic is in studying at the right time, spacing your reviews out wisely so that each one arrives just at the moment your memory needs it most. And in this way, even 10 minutes a day will carry you further than 3 exhausting hours ever could. The second trick is called active recall, and this one is so important that I want you to really hold on to it with both hands. Active recall simply means testing yourself instead of just reading. Most learners study by looking at a word and its meaning over and over, reading the list from top to bottom, nodding along gently, feeling calm and productive, and believing with all their heart that they are learning. But here is a hard and honest truth that took me many years to understand. Reading a word again and again is like standing at the gym and watching someone else lift the weights. It looks like exercise, it feels a little like effort, and yet your own muscles are doing absolutely nothing, and so they never grow stronger. Active recall is the real exercise. It is when you cover the meaning completely, look only at the English word, and gently force your brain to pull the answer out from somewhere inside you. That little moment of effort, that soft struggle when you pause and think, "Wait, what does this one mean again?" is not a sign of failure. It is the exact moment your memory is growing stronger. The moment the path in the forest is being carved a little deeper. So instead of reading a list 10 quiet times, close your eyes and try honestly to remember. Ask yourself out loud, what was that word for feeling tired but happy after good, hard work? Make your brain reach for it and wait patiently for the answer to surface. And yes, sometimes you will fail. Sometimes the word simply will not come, and that is perfectly and completely fine, because even the failing helps your memory, as long as you then gently show yourself the correct answer straight away. Please remember this forever. Testing is not something you do at the end, after the learning is finished. Testing is not the exam. Testing is how the learning actually happens. The third trick brings in the beautiful power of imagination, because your brain was never designed to remember boring, abstract lists of words on a flat white page, but it was wonderfully and perfectly designed to remember stories, pictures, and strong feelings. Think about it for a moment. You can probably remember a frightening dream from years ago, or the smell of your grandmother's kitchen, far more easily than you can remember a phone number from last week. And that is because pictures and feelings stick, while plain facts slide away. So when you meet a brand new word, do not just memorize its cold translation. Instead, build a small, vivid, living picture in your mind. Let us say you are learning the word stumble, which means to trip or almost fall while you are walking. Do not simply write down that stumble equals to trip and move on. Instead, close your eyes and truly see yourself walking down a busy street, looking at your phone, not watching where you're going at all. And suddenly, your foot catches hard on a raised stone, and you stumble forward, your arms waving wildly in the air, your heart jumping into your throat, your coffee flying. Make the little picture silly. Make it bright and colorful. Make it move, and even give it a sound. The stranger, the funnier, and the more emotional the image is, the more tightly your brain will hold on to it, because emotion is the strong glue of memory. You can also play with the sound of the word and connect it to a word that sounds similar in your own native language. Or you can link the new word to a real memory from your own life, a true moment where that word would have fit perfectly. When a word is tied to a picture, a story, and a feeling, it quietly stops being a cold stranger on a list and becomes a warm friend whose face you will happily recognize every single time you meet it again. Now let me give you the last two tricks, and then I will send you off with something warm to carry in your heart. The fourth trick is to use each new word in a real sentence of your very own, spoken out loud on the very same day that you learn it. Because a word that only ever lives on a flashcard or a page will always feel like a stranger you once met. But a word that you have shaped with your own mouth and heard in your own voice quietly becomes a part of who you are. So do not only say to yourself, "Stumble means to trip." Instead say, "This morning I was so tired that I stumbled on the stairs." And just like that, the word belongs to your life and to your story. The fifth and final trick is the quiet, humble power of a daily habit. Just 10 focused minutes every single day, always at the same gentle time, perhaps with your morning coffee or just before you sleep, because a small effort repeated faithfully day after day will always defeat a huge and heroic effort done once and then forgotten. Consistency is the soil in which memory grows. So now, let us gently gather our 5 gifts together and hold them in our hands. First, space out your reviews so each one lands just before you forget. Second, test yourself with active recall instead of only reading. Third, paint vivid, silly, emotional pictures in your mind. Fourth, speak each new word out loud in a real sentence of your own the very same day. And fifth, show up faithfully for just 10 gentle minutes every day. Do these 5 simple things, and I promise you, from all my years of teaching, the hole in your bucket will finally close, the water will stay, and your English vocabulary will begin to grow deep, strong roots that last. In our next lesson here at English Listening Lab, we are going to explore something truly exciting: how to think directly in English and finally stop translating every sentence in your head before you speak. And I honestly do not want you to miss it. So if you haven't done so yet, please take that one small moment now to subscribe, ring that little bell, and come back soon to sit with me again. Thank you, from the very bottom of my heart, for spending this quiet time with me today. Keep listening, keep believing in yourself, and always remember, you are far more capable than you know. This is John, and I will see you in the next one.